Yes, please do tell. Foolish? Yes, I agree. Foolish right now. I mean, he wasn't foolish before, but you know, because the story needs him to be foolish, so. Okay. Using the same percentages that L likes to use. Ooh, justice. Justice? Anything but an A. This is something that I actually want from the show, so this is a good step. Sayu or the mother. But this is what I was looking for, right? Basically showing how the world is working right now after the time skip. So we move to a new place again. Okay, that was fun. Oh. Ah. But around the world. Fear. Wow. Like, looking back to like the first couple of episodes and seeing this. Wow. Ooh, Matsuda. And this is understandable from Matsuda's point of view, from his perspective, especially if you look at his character from like way in the beginning. But, yeah. Yeah, there's good in evil, right? And there's evil in good. My role in society forces me to not accept Kira, but deep down, amusing, isn't it? Even he becomes a martyr. Ooh, interesting. Depending on the outcome. So what are you gonna do? We need to work together? Because Mello is basically defeated, right? Ooh, look at that scar. Yeah, calm down. Mello is not our enemy, it is Kira. Basically. Yep. Ooh, has everything gone according to plan? Ah, right.
写真はこれ一枚で複製等は決してありません。
Ooh. They showed that. Ooh. I have no intention, but I'm gonna do it anyways.
殺人ノート。あれは死神のノートで、ノートを持った者には死神を見ることができる。誰がそんなこと信じるか。
私は信じますよ。メロがそんな嘘をついて何になるんですか。どうせつくならもう少しまともな意味のある嘘をつく。よって死神はいます。
Quick to accept, eh?
メロ。
どちらが先にキラにたどり着くか。
競争ですね。
どうせ行き着くところは同じだ。
And now it's a competition. In a good way, right? Competition is good because you're forced to try to one up your opponent. And in this case, because the goal is the same. Yeah. Okay.
ジェバンニ、L につないでください。
はい。
はい。
L、メロを捕まえました。が逃げられました。
逃げられたのではなく逃がした。そうですね。
いえ、本当に逃げられました。
Here comes the mind games.
そういうものの存在はその死神からいろいろ聞いてみたいものです。
俺は聞かれたくないな。
Well, you can't really talk to the Shinigami unless you touch it first.
あなたの考え嘘のルールがあるとすればどれか。
Oh,
消去法で考えるならば
he has to say it.
13日以内に人の名前を
Okay.
書き続けなければ
He needs to say it. Otherwise, his credibility is going to be in question.
つまりそこにキラがいて死神に嘘をつかせている。
別に嘘でも死神が嘘をついているだけで何にもならないっすよね。
いや、ライト君の監禁の意味がなくなる。
でも違いますよ。ライト君がキラのわけないじゃないですか。次長もライト君がノートを持っていないことを確かめて息絶えたんだ。
こうやって検証したら
Now everybody's doubting him again.
そしてメロが日本捜査本部の皆さん、今までに一度でもそこにいる二代目エルがキラだと考えたことはありませんか。
Shit.
ライト君がキラであるはずがない。
Ooh, that face from Aizawa.
ニア、もう殺すしかない。
But I don't know though.
大統領、まずは私に賛同していただいたことに深く感謝します。しかしそれだけでは十分ではない。 SPK なるキラを捕まえるための組織の活動を即刻停止し、解散を命じていただきたい。大統領、あなたが長生きするかどうかはあなた次第です。
Wow.
それをお忘れなく。
It's either you or them.
相沢、古い付き合いだ。お前が何を悩んでいるのか分かっている。お前がやるべきだと思うことをやればいい。
Okay.
エルも信用していなかった。むしろお前と行動を共にしたいと思ってやってる。
Trust.
ライト君に分からぬよう、俺はニアに連絡を入れてみる。
分かった。お前がどんなことを
Shit.
していてもみんなに分からないようにしておく。
Shit. Shit. Nothing happens. Pretend to work. But also look very suspicious to Light.
ライト君。
大変です。テレビでデメ側が。
どうしましたニア。これは SPK を始末しようとするメロの策略なのか。
You didn't have to destroy Optimus Prime there, Neo. Come on. End of the episode. Okay. This is a better episode. Like, compared to like the previous episodes. A much better episode. Some things that I do want to talk about later. I guess I can talk about this episode first before we go into episode 31. Or even if I do want to continue episode 31, because surprisingly there's a lot of stuff that I want to talk about in this episode. Okay, so first of all, small review of the episode. It's pretty good. Surprisingly, it's pretty good. There are still some issues here and there, which I will talk about, but overall, it's pretty good. Not gonna lie, it's fine. It's okay. Definitely one of the better episodes of, in this third half of the show. I do enjoy some of the aspects in the beginning of this episode, when they are basically showing the world again, how it is currently living and operating in a world where Kira reigns supreme. I enjoyed that. That is something that I was asking for about a few episodes ago, and I got it. I didn't get it as much as I want it, but I got it nonetheless, so I'm grateful for it. And yeah, some good stuff. We immediately resolved Mello and Nier, which again, while it is their confrontation, their beef towards one another, I don't really care all that much in these past few episodes. But the fact that they are immediately resolving it and say, okay, that was stupid, let's move on, I think it's a pretty good decision, because I don't want to see them quabble again when their main focus is supposed to be capturing Kira. So the fact that they have basically resolved this in a way and kind of turn it into like a competition to see which one of these people could catch Kira first, I dig it. I think that's like a fairly good it's a good side story, for us, the audience, to latch into these characters. I still don't care about them, but at the same time, at least now I can kind of expect to see. There's like a sense of, okay, who is going to capture Light first? My money is on Nier, obviously, because Nier has so far been presented to be the more calm and more not just smart, but also the more precise and competent one, compared to Mello, who is an overdramatic character who I really dislike. Yeah. But again, at least they resolved this issue that I had between these two characters, and now at least they are able to focus on the one problem that they should have been focusing on towards the beginning, which is capturing Light. And a couple of things in regards to Light himself, and some of the decision that they made in this episode was kind of iffy to me. Well, not really necessarily Light, but everybody surrounding Light, because it's like, okay, how many years has it been? 5 years, right? 4 or 5 years. 2007 was when L passes away, and now we are in 2012. So yeah, so in that span of time, 5 years, none of the people within Light's vicinity don't really question Light as Light as Kira anymore, until this episode when Nier says, "Have you guys ever thought about Light being L?" And then everybody's like, oh yeah, there is that sort of question that we had like a long time ago. Oh yeah, maybe it is relevant again. I'm like, really 5 years you don't really think about it, and now suddenly you're thinking about it? Really? Come on. I don't like that. And all of these things, positives and negatives, I will be covering more in depth, probably once I actually go to the episode discussion where I go scene by scene from the beginning to end. But overall, this episode was pretty good in my opinion. Animation is fine, nothing to write home about. The direction was also fine. The cinematography was alright, nothing too major to write home about. But overall, again, as a whole, I thought it was good. Not great, but it was good. I don't hate it. So good job. Good job. Okay, let's actually go scene by scene on the episode. So the episode starts again with showing us how the world is currently operating, as I was saying. I really enjoyed this moment, this entire sequence when basically saying, yeah, in a world where crime, in a world where you are punished for crime, yeah, you're not only going to stop doing crime, you also don't want to have your face and your name be public. That is fear in a nutshell. If you go public, you're gonna die. That is scary, and that is a world where I feel like the sense of justice is warped because you're sacrificing individuality for the sake of freedom for everybody else, which is kind of ironic in a way. Freedom in a sense that, yeah, everybody can now live more freely because, you know, crime is being monitored by light, right? As in, if you're gonna go outside, the chances of you getting mugged or shot or robbed or a crime happening is very slim. So in that sense, you achieve the freedom of basically going outside and not fearing anything. But at the same time, you also fear of actually doing something wrong, because if you do something wrong, then you're fucked. You're gonna die regardless. So it is a fucked up world. There's a lot of like ups and downs. There's some contrasting and there's some contradictions every now and again, which I kind of enjoy, especially in this world that we are currently living in right now in Death Note. Cool. We see this person being like afraid to not, you know, tell his name, and even again in a world where the internet is a thing, everything is public. Yeah, it's a problem, right? You don't want to be known around the world. You better take down your Facebook account, your Instagram account, every social media account, which is also kind of like scary in a sense, you know, like it's a dystopian world where, yeah, everything and anything you do will have major consequences if you don't take full responsibility of it. Kira, please kill, and then me. Ooh. A sad scene nonetheless. And then we see like how the media is portraying Kira and everything, which again adds more to the world to the world building, and which I appreciate, and I would have enjoyed it if this has actually been shown in like episode 27, which is the start of like this new section of the story right after the time skip. I feel like all of this would have made a better like setup and basically setting up the tone of like this third half of the show, which it desperately needs, because right now I don't really have like an indication of like what tone of this part of the story is trying to be, if that makes any sense. So we suddenly get a press conference from the United States president. But before that, we get this really fun scene between Ryuk and Matsuda, which I really appreciated. I always loved Matsuda, I always loved Ryuk. Seeing both of them interact with one another, especially Matsuda giving the apple to Ryuk and then taking it back, it's funny. I love it. This small little slice of life moments where the characters are just interacting with one another without any major consequence. I kind of like that. Give me more of this. Give me more of this, please. Because we need downtime. We need time to relax and just be with the characters before we immediately go gung-ho, as in like how the previous sets of episodes did, where like, oh yeah, Sayu's been captured. Yeah, let's go get it. Oh yeah, the Death Note is on a missile now. What the fuck? The United States president saying, yeah, we bow down to Kira. Yeah, justice, right? But you can definitely see like the fear in his eyes. You know that he is reluctant in doing this, but this is the only way for him to save himself and to save his own country, if I'm being honest. Because like world leaders technically also commit, war crimes, but we don't talk about that. So yeah, it's obvious why a lot of world leaders would eventually kind of succumb and say, yeah, I don't want to mess with Kira. If Kira sees that I've like basically accept this global genocide on like certain peoples and ethnicities around the world, yeah, you don't want that to happen. So it's obvious that world leaders, in this case the President of the United States, would eventually bow down to Kira and saying, hey, don't hurt me, bro. Don't kill me. I bow down to you. I'm not gonna mess with you. Just do your own thing, and I promise you I won't do anything. Which is also kind of funny because not that I got spoiled or anything, but I do know that there is like a Death Note spin-off, or like sets of like short stories within the world of Death Note, where in one of those stories Donald Trump gets the Death Note. I remember reading that like a long time ago, and I'm like, what? Like at that point I still haven't really watched Death Note or anything. I just know the concept of the Death Note, but hearing the words Death Note and Donald Trump is like a fanfic, but the fact that it is real baffles me. Anyways, moving on. Of course, this is what Kira wants. He gets what he is after. Everything is going in his way for now. But obviously, with the way the story is going, for the trajectory of the story right now, I feel like it's almost inevitable that the story is going to end with Light not necessarily dying, but not getting what he wants. Basically dying, yeah. I don't know, again, it's like the fact that Light already won when it comes to like fighting L in episode 25. It feels like that story is over, so what's next? He can't just win again because he already won. So what is left for the story is to make him lose. So yeah, right now we're just saying everything is going exactly as Light intended, although there has been a few mishaps and a few bad decisions from Light, which resulted in a lot of unnecessary deaths. Soichiro. But it is after Soichiro's death that the people that is surrounding Light right now, Matsuda, Aizawa, everybody else, Mogi, it is now that they start to question Light again. And this is when some of the things that I like and dislike about this current part of the story comes into play. I'm not gonna talk about it right now because that is happening later on, which I will get to. But just know that what I was about to say is that Soichiro is the one that is keeping everybody together, right? Soichiro is the father of Light. Of course, nobody is going to question Light when the father himself is vouching for him, saying, hey, there's no way that my son is Kira, right? Oh yeah, sure, Soichiro, we believe you, but now he's gone. That barrier is gone as well. So now Kira Light is basically on his own again. There's nobody to vouch for him. So that's going to be a problem. Alright, so let's move on from here. There's also this conversation that they were having about justice, right? If we fail to capture Kira and the world bows down to Kira, then Kira becomes justice. But if we capture Kira, then he is evil. It's also a play on, history is written by the victors, right? Right now, Kira is not our enemy number one, right? If Kira wins, then obviously Kira becomes justice. He becomes the hero, God, right? And if he loses, he becomes the enemy. He becomes evil. He becomes something that the world is going to look upon as something evil and controlling and nothing that Light intended to be. Obviously, Nier and everybody else are, really upset that the President of the United States basically said this. And then we get to this scene with one of Nier's fellow female partners. I forgot her name though, unfortunately, but she appears in the OP. The reason why I forget her name is because I don't give a shit about them at all. Gotta be honest. Maybe I should. But she is taking a bath, and then Mello comes in. How does Mello know? And how does she know? I mean, yeah, obviously she knows, but their interaction to me is interesting, and I feel like this is one aspect that I am very confident in saying that the anime probably cut a lot of content out. Because one, Mello knows where she lives, and two, when Mello is about to shoot Nier, she is the one who steps in and calms Mello down, right? Mello is about to shoot Nier, and then she basically walks in front of him and saying, no, stop, this isn't right. There's definitely something going on between these two. They definitely know each other. And I feel like the anime is not showing me the full picture between these two characters. I feel like there's something more between them. So let me know in the comments again if there are, like, if what I'm saying is true, or if there are other major things that the anime cut or decide not to adapt in the show. Because at this point, it's pretty obvious the third half of Death Note is rushed. It is way too fast. There's obviously a lot of stuff that has been cut. So let me know in the comments. But yeah, as I was saying, Mello finally comes to Nier. They finally talk it out and saying, yeah, we should not actually be going against each other. We need to fight Kira. That's number one. That's our number one priority right now. Mello gets his photo that Nier has been holding on to this entire time. Obviously, this is going to come into play later on. Why else would they show it? We get a cool scene with them talking, and then they're basically saying, yeah, I don't want to work with you, but I have no choice, so I'm still not going to work with you, but we're going towards the same goal, so best of luck. May the best player wins, right? Yeah. I still don't care about these two characters, but this interaction kind of made me slightly care about them, because now these two characters have something to do with each other besides capturing Kira, and that is a competition. So yeah, still don't know how their interactions are going to end, but I have a stinking suspicion that one of them is probably gonna die, and that's probably gonna be Mello, and then Nier is going to be the only one left, and then Nier is probably going to be the one who captures Kira. That's my prediction, because why else would you introduce a character that is very similar to L and not do anything about it? Like, it's painfully obvious. Nier even has L's own mannerisms in a sense, you know, likes to play with puzzles, or, you know, and loves to use percentages and whatever. Come on. Painfully obvious. We move on, and then, okay, here's the other thing that I have an issue with. Here it is shown that Nier immediately figures out that yes, there is a rule that is a lie, a rule that is fake. Okay, cool. Nier is smart enough to reach that position, but at the same time, we don't really get to see the process. We just see Nier sitting and saying, okay, if there is one rule that is wrong, then it has to be this rule. And that's pretty much it. That's how the scene goes. And that's my issue with both Nier and Mello right now. I think I've mentioned this in like the previous episode's discussion, but that is the fact that the show is telling you that these people are smart without actually showing you that they are smart. When it comes to L, the show is telling you that he is smart, and the show is showing you how smart he is. We see him constantly one-upping Kira. We see him also constantly figuring everything up in his mind. We see him step by step working it out, making the plans, executing those plans. And it's a slow process. It's not like immediately he knows. It's just that he needs more evidence, he gets the evidence, he connects the dots. We see him connecting the dots, and then he figures out the truth. We don't get to see that with Nier and Mello, at least right now. So, again, I'm sorry to say, you may be smart characters, but you don't act like you're smart characters. The story is just basically saying, hey, these are smart characters, but without actually showing that they are smart characters. And then Nier talks to Light. Well, I guess Light is L. I guess right now I am fine with confusing Light and L because I've been constantly mistaken Light and L on multiple times throughout my entire reaction journey. I'm just gonna be honest with that. Every time I want to say L, I would blurt out Light. Every time I say Light, I would blurt out L. Mistakes happen. They have very similar names. They all start with L. But right now, Light is L, so if I say Light or L, I'm referring to the same person, I guess, right now. But anyways, Nier is talking to Light, right? And here is the situation that I was talking about. Nier saying that, have you guys ever thought about Light being Kira? Right? And then everybody listens to it, Matsuda, Aizawa, everybody listens to it, and they start to doubt Light again. I don't know. On one hand, I can see why they would doubt that. But on the other hand, we've been through this process before. We've seen them on multiple fronts accusing Light but then they slowly accept that Light is not Kira. And they have been, for 5 years, accepting the fact that Light is not Kira. For 5 years. They did not question it, they did not doubt him. After L's death, all of them fully accepts that all of the evidence that they have been shown points to the fact that Light is not Kira. And then all of a sudden, right now, in this very moment, 5 years later, this random person, N, who none of them have ever had any major interactions with. They don't know this person, they just know this is a voice on a monitor. This person suddenly says, hey, have you guys ever thought about Light being Kira? And then everybody starts losing their minds going, maybe he has a point though, maybe he has a point, maybe Light is Kira. Like, what? No. 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 A lot of you can defend that, and I can see why you would defend that. And I can kind of understand why you would think, oh, this is a natural reaction from them. But at the same time, I'm like, yeah, but they've been with Light for 5 years. They've already accepted the fact that Light is not Kira. So why would a single person, this person who they have no idea who this person is, this random person who goes by N, who they've only ever listened to in the audio, a person they do not associate with at all, suddenly says something and then everybody starts to doubt Light once again? I don't know, I feel like that's kind of cheap. That's like kind of cheap writing in my opinion. And it is something that I feel like, again, this is setting up the police task force to eventually betray Light or to double cross him, you know, essentially believing in that original idea that Light is Kira. I get that that is the case. I get why it is being implemented right now within the story. But at the same time, I don't find it fully believable, and I find it to be a rather cheap play by the writers to essentially have Light lose. I don't know if you guys are on my side or not with this. Again, I'm just talking with with honest opinions. So let me know in the comments whether if you agree or disagree. If you do disagree with me, just let me know why you disagree with me. I would love to read your comments and to see, you know, like your discussions as well. But anyways, moving on from here. Again, Light using that old-fashioned coercing people to do his bidding. Hey, if you do what I say, I'm not gonna kill you, and I'm going to kill everybody else. So it's either you or them. And of course the President of the United States is gonna go, yeah, sure, don't kill me, please. I'll do whatever you say. And thus, the raid begins. They all go to Nier. Everybody is going to Nier and beginning to, you know, trying to flush him out. And that's the goal, that's the idea. And that's what awaits us in the next episode, which is basically what's gonna happen next. Misa is ready to kill, and seeing Misa with the Death Note right now, with the Shinigami eyes right now, also hurts to see. It hurts so much because she could have easily done this when they were trying to capture Mello. Again, the police officers there, Soichiro himself should have just had like a body cam or whatever to capture it. It would have done the job well. But of course, the story needs Soichiro to end. They need Soichiro to die so that everybody can start to doubt Light again. That is it for my discussion and my reaction for Death Note episode 30. Kind of went longer than I expected, which is pretty good. longer discussions means that the episode is giving me something more to work on. So yeah, good on you, show. Good on you. Can't wait to see the next episode. So yeah, if you do enjoy my reaction, hit like and subscribe if you haven't already. Early access is available over at the Patreon if you want to watch the next set of episodes. And that is all from me. And until then, see you all next week for the next episode of Death Note. Take care, guys.